Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before starting the video, please go ahead and hit the subscribe button and give this video like up. In the world of When Calls the Heart, every returning character sparks a wave of emotion across Hope Valley. And few names stir as much excitement and curiosity as Kayla Wallace. Known for her radiant portrayal of Fiona Miller, the spirited telephone operator with charm, strength, and ambition, Kayla's presence has left an unmistakable mark on the beloved Hallmark series. But ever since her character quietly stepped away from town, fans have been wondering, will Fiona return? As season 13 whispers start filling the air, the question of Kayla Wallace's comeback feels more relevant than ever. Let's take a journey through what we know so far, what we can hope for, and why Fiona's return could reshape the future of Hope Valley in powerful, heartfelt ways. When Calls the Heart introduced Fiona Miller in season 6, she was a breath of fresh air. With her sharp wit, independence, and modern energy, she quickly became one of the town's most beloved newcomers. Fiona represented the changing times, a woman ahead of her era, unafraid to take on challenges or speak her mind. From operating the town's switchboard to bringing progress and humor into the daily lives of Hope Valley's residents, she became an essential part of the community tapestry. But Fiona's journey wasn't just about business and technology. She became a symbol of possibility, a woman who could embrace change while staying true to her heart. Over the seasons, fans watched her evolve, form friendships with characters like Rosemary, Faith, and Clara, and even develop a subtle romantic spark with Mike Hickam, played by Ben Rosenbaum. The chemistry between the two characters was unmistakable. Their sweet, awkward exchanges and mutual admiration became one of the most endearing side stories in the series. Yet as When Calls the Heart progressed into its later seasons, Fiona's presence began to fade. She appeared less frequently, and storylines centered around her career ambitions began taking her away from Hope Valley. The season 10 finale hinted at her leaving town for new opportunities, leaving viewers with both pride and heartache. Fiona had always been destined for great things, but the emptiness her absence left behind was impossible to ignore. The big question now is, will Kayla Wallace reprise her role in season 13? Hallmark and the production team have been famously tight-lipped about casting details, keeping fans guessing. However, several signs suggest that Fiona's story may not be over yet. First, consider the creative direction of When Calls the Heart. Over the years, the series has never been afraid to bring characters back when their arcs still had emotional potential. Think about characters like Abigail Stanton, who remains talked about despite her long absence, or Henry Gowan, who's had more redemptive comebacks than anyone could count. Hope Valley has always been a place where second chances thrive. Fiona's return would perfectly fit that pattern. Second, Kayla Wallace's real-life connection to When Calls the Heart continues to deepen. As many fans know, she is in a long-term relationship with Kevin McGarry, who plays Mountie Nathan Grant. Their off-screen romance has been one of the sweetest Hallmark love stories in real life, a pairing that often delights Hearties on social media and at fan events. With Kevin still deeply involved in the show, it's not far-fetched to imagine that Kayla could make a return, whether for a guest appearance or something more permanent, adding to the intrigue. Insiders close to the production have hinted that season 13 will be a season of reconnection. This phrase has fans buzzing. Could this mean familiar faces, like Fiona, might make their way back to Hope Valley? It's certainly possible. The show's creators have emphasized that the new season will reflect the growth, spirit of the community as it steps into a new era. What better way to capture that spirit than by bringing back a beloved character who represents progress, friendship, and courage? There's also the matter of unfinished business. Fiona's storyline with Mike Hickam was left hanging. Their growing bond was full of potential and understated romance that could have blossomed into one of the show's most charming love stories. In her absence, Mike has continued to build his life in Hope Valley, but his heart still seems tethered to something or someone. A Fiona return would not only give emotional closure to their relationship, but could reignite the kind of soft, relatable romance that When Calls the Heart fans adore. Fans on social media continue to champion her comeback, Hearties across platforms like X, formerly Twitter, and Facebook regularly post nostalgic photos and clips of Fiona, often captioned with messages like, "Hope Valley isn't the same without her," or "Bring back Fiona." The love for Kayla Wallace's character runs deep, and the showrunners are well aware that this kind of audience affection can influence creative decisions. Moreover, Kayla herself has kept her relationship with the WCTH community alive. In recent interviews for other Hallmark projects, she's spoken fondly about her time on the show, describing it as a special place that taught her the importance of storytelling rooted in hope and heart. When asked about Fiona's journey, she's been careful not to rule anything out. A classic move for Hallmark actors who know the power of surprise. "Hope Valley will always feel like home," she once said during an interview promoting another Hallmark film. For longtime viewers, that single line felt like both a goodbye and a promise. From a storytelling standpoint, Fiona's return makes perfect sense in the evolving narrative of Hope Valley. The town has undergone significant changes, from the arrival of new families to shifts in leadership and romance. Yet one thing the series always does beautifully is intertwine the old with the new, as Elizabeth, Nathan, and Lucas continue navigating their paths. The reintroduction of Fiona could add a fresh yet familiar energy, especially in balancing the tone between modernization and tradition. Imagine the possibilities. If Fiona were to return in season 13, she could reopen her business ventures in town or introduce a new enterprise that links the outside world with Hope Valley's small-town charm. Her interactions with Rosemary and Lee could bring humor and creativity back to the forefront. She might even help Faith with a new medical communications system or partner with Elizabeth to inspire young women in the community. The potential is vast, and the emotional payoff would be rich. Then there's the nostalgia factor. When Calls the Heart thrives on the power of community and memory. Each returning character feels like a homecoming, a reminder of how much history this show has built over its many seasons. Fiona's reappearance would serve as a bridge between past and present, showing fans that even as Hope Valley grows, its heart remains rooted in familiar faces and enduring friendships. Of course, in typical Hallmark fashion, her comeback could be full of surprises. Maybe she returns not just for business, but because her heart leads her back. Perhaps a chance encounter with Mike reignites something deeper. Or maybe she comes to town for a short visit, only to find that leaving again isn't as easy as she thought. Whether her return is permanent or temporary, Fiona's presence would no doubt add emotional depth and sparkle to the upcoming season. From a production perspective, the timing also works in her favor. Kayla Wallace has been one of Hallmark's rising stars, appearing in several network films over the past couple of years. Balancing her schedule with When Calls the Heart could now be more feasible than before. If Hallmark wants to capitalize on her growing popularity, a return to WCTH would be the perfect move. It's also worth noting how her comeback could influence other storylines. Mike Hickam, for instance, has evolved from a background character to a confident, dependable leader. But beneath his humor and kindness, there's still a part of him searching for something, perhaps for the woman who once challenged and inspired him. Fiona's return could allow both characters to grow individually and together, symbolizing how love and ambition can coexist thematically. Fiona embodies the progressive heartbeat of When Calls the Heart. She's a reminder that hope isn't just about holding on to the past. It's about moving forward with grace and courage. Bringing her back would not only please fans, but also reinforce one of the show's core messages: that true heart always finds its way home. While there has been no official confirmation yet, the clues are aligning. Subtle hints from cast members, the open-ended nature of Fiona's storyline, and the show's tradition of rewarding fans with emotional reunions all suggest that a return is more than possible. It's likely, if Fiona does come back, her re-entry could be one of the most talked about moments of the season. Imagine a scene where the switchboard lights up again, the sound of familiar voices filling the air, and then there she is, Fiona Miller, standing in the doorway of her old shop, smiling that confident smile that says Hope Valley just got a little brighter. It would be the kind of moment that fans would replay over and over, a true hallmark of why this series continues to endure. Even beyond the screen, Kayla Wallace's connection to When Calls the Heart remains something special. She represents the next generation of Hallmark talent, authentic, expressive, and deeply loved by viewers. Her energy fits perfectly with the tone of WCTH, and her potential return could strengthen the bridge between longtime fans and newer audiences discovering the show for TH.